Okay, no problem. I'm here waiting. Hello, 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 my beautiful people. Hello, viewers at home. Welcome to another episode on Real Men's Talk, where it is sizzling hot, interactive, and transforming. We are going to be having a conversation today on if you lose everything. If you... The network is also good today. We hope to have an itch-free conversation on this episode. If you lose everything. So when you're having the feeling that you have lost something or you have lost everything. So most things will be okay eventually, but not everything will be. Sometimes you put up a good fight and lose. Sometimes you hold on really hard and realize there is no choice but to let go. Acceptance is a small, quiet room that is Jelly's trade. So let's have this conversation on what you need to do when you feel you have lost everything. And I have with me my co-hosts who are going to be having this interesting conversation. Good evening, Dr. Samuel.
Good evening, Mama T. Good evening, everyone.
And how was your week?
Well, blissful.
That's great. So on this conversation, when one have the feeling that one has lost everything, when someone feel he has lost everything, what do one do with the past? Because before you can feel you have lost something must have happened. So what do one do with it?
Well, at one time or the other, life will always happen to us. Just like the Bible said that the life of a man is of few days, and that few days with so many troubles. So there is no way we can live without experiencing trouble at one time or the other in different phases of life. It could be your finances, it could be your matrimonial home, in your academics, in your relationship, it may even be at work. But the truth is that those things are made we are made to face challenges and they will come once in a while. But someone said when life throw lemons at us, we can make lemonade out of it. So what we should do is that we should know that number one, tough time never lasts, but tough people do. Those times, things on its own can just resolve spontaneously. God can take over or nature can take its course. So we know that all those problems that we are facing, the feeling of doom, is just there for a purpose to make us to be strong. Finally, just know that what there is nothing you are passing through now that someone else has not passed through. People have survived worse things, same thing, and there is nothing you're not there. If you keep faith, continue holding your ground, you are steadfast, well, you will survive it. Because tough time never lasts, but tough people do. You will outlive that. So when life throws at you the feeling of doom, just know that it's just for a while you survive it.
Okay, that when that feeling comes, that feeling comes with pain. So how should one handle the feeling of loss? What should be the approach to loss? Because it's a feeling that probably one failed in something in certain area of one's life, or probably one lost a loved one, or one lost his or her job. That feeling comes with pain. So what should be the approach to loss?
Thank you very much. There is one thing I know about life. What makes us to know that we are still alive is pain. Without pain, there cannot be gain. So when feelings comes with pain, it could be terrible. Sometimes what we can't bear, sometimes it's breaking us down, and we start wondering if God is on our side or God is just not ready to smile at us. When that feeling comes, the best bet to do is still to smile at life. Look for other areas in which you think that you are doing well. All the area cannot just crumble at once. There are something, give yourself reason to see something good about you, to see something good has happened to you before. Give yourself reason to continue to live, because when that feeling comes in a way that you will not even think of any other thing again. All what you are thinking at that point in time, your mind is centered on the pain that you are passing through. And that is at the point in which people start taking right decision, either about suicide, ending it, or no, that is not where it is. Well, if you are a religious person, that is the time to turn to God. You can just pray about it, pray over it, and during that time, you get direction. In fact, after praying about some things, you may even notice they are not as bad as you thought. Just get it right once or twice in one's lifetime. Is bound to pass through that.
Okay, in the state of feeling all is lost, where and what should one draw strength from? Let me look at it like this. Where should we draw strength from? The greatest strength any man can have in situation when you feel you have lost everything is from the inside of you. Though you might need to surround yourself with positive people who can encourage you. But at the same time, the strength should be from the inner self to tell yourself that I can face it, I can do it, I can overcome it, I am capable. And for somebody like me, I believe you draw strength from a relationship with God, from talking to God, from reading your Bible. It is when you study your Bible, then you can, it will bring you back to who you are, what you are capable of, what is on the inside of you. And that is when you begin to get that inner momentum that I can do it, I can face it. It's just for a period of time. So your strength, the greatest strength you can draw from is from God, from you, and by surrounding yourself with positive people, with people that understand you, because it is just how you feel about the situation. Sometimes the situation might be so bad, but your reaction to that situation matters most. So let me go to, do one have to start again? So some people will say, where do I start from? What is your advice for such people? When some people are in trouble, say, nobody can see baby. What's the advice for people like this?
There is so where to start from. A man wrote a story on social media. He came back from, I think, Germany, wanting to start in Nigeria. Went to, I think, around 100 million or so. Lo and behold, it was swindled. When he got to know it was swindled, he started thinking about a lot of things about life, and he felt it's better he can be alive. Tied a rope on the ceiling fan and hung it himself. So the next time he woke up was in the hospital. People started, talking to him. The wife was there, the father, the brother. You're not telling that, do you know the implication of what you're about doing? You would have put everybody in trouble. Luckily for him, the belt he used, cut. So he went blank, belt cut, so he didn't die. They took him to the hospital. Eventually, where in the hospital, someone told him about how he could get his money. He contacted EFCC and so on. He got his money back for him. They need to do some settlement. You see, there's always a point to start from. It's not as bad as it is. Maybe at the point in which you are having such feelings of doom, if impending doom, or as if this is the worst thing, you may not be able to think clearly to know that there are other, how do I mean, there are options. Once you start talking to somebody, you may think what happened to you was the worst that could happen to any living being. When you start talking to people will now start giving options, way out. This man thought that there's no way we could get the money out. His partner in Germany will be sending equipment very soon and all those things. I didn't know what to do about it. So automatically thought the best thing to do is to end this like that. If after dying, nobody will the partner will know he has died. The case will rest. He won't see money in his account. And the case will rest. But at least when he survived it, he said it himself that he was happy he survived that. And when he survived it, believe you me, he got his money back. He got every of his money back, the 100 million. But they traced it to the bank, and from the bank they could trace it to the bank. And from the bank, they were able to trace those people, they apprehended, and they got his money back. Sometimes thinking that where should you start from is just in your mind. You still have a lot of things. You can start your life all over again. I'm saying this because hope is not lost when we have hope in God. You can start your life all over again. There are still so many places to start from. So you don't have to, I mean, you don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to take your life to sort things out. There's always somewhere to start from. So if you really plan your life well, sit down and think inward. Let people talk to you. You will notice that there are options for you to restart your life. There is always an avenue to start afresh, and you can explore one and discover that what you are even thinking is so bad is not as bad as you thought. Maybe because you've not heard other people's experience, you don't even know such things are available. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sometimes when things happen to us, we tend to complain. So we now ask ourselves that, do I have the right to complain when things are falling apart? I would like to say this, that complaint sometimes might be an avenue to feel to shift the blame somehow. But complaining will not solve anything. It is said that complaining is like trying to get out of a hole by using a shovel. It will only get deeper instead of using a ladder. So when you're complaining, it will only get worse. Rather than complain, think of what is the next thing to be done. What is the way forward? What can I do about the situation? Is there something I'm not doing right? Is there something I didn't do the last time? Is there something I can do better? So rather than complain, have a rethink, a discussion with yourself. Sometimes we need time to have personal conversation with ourselves, and which a lot of us don't do. We talk to people, we talk to other people, but we don't talk to ourselves. We need that time to sit down and have good conversation with ourselves, you and you. In the place of that conversation with oneself, you know that you don't have to deceive anybody. You're talking to yourself. You don't have to pretend to anybody. So we should learn to have a conversation with ourselves, and rather than complain, think of a way forward. So that's about complaint. Then Dr. Samuel is giving up an option. Maybe that will save the stress.
Thank you very much. Giving up is never an option. Quitters never win, and winner never quit. If you are dogged in in life, there's no way you can lose. People have passed through far more things. Okay. Abraham Lincoln, I've read about this story, how he passed through a lot of things, lost his wife, lost this, lost that. He became American president at last. So you cannot give up and be expecting to win. You just have to continue. You have to make up your mind, no matter what life throws at you, you must be able to absorb it and look for a way out. You have to make up your life. Few years ago, I was talking to somebody, either ideation, thinking of killing herself. So that I say, come, I made up my mind. No matter what comes my way, suicide is not an option. It's not even what to think about. There will always be a way out. In fact, I said it to the extent that even if you put a gun on my head and ask me to drink poison, it's better you shoot me. Now, for me to drink that poison, kill myself, it's better you shoot me than for me to kill myself. So that people will know that this is a murder case, not that you're not telling me to write a suicide note and drink something. Because the pain of killing yourself will never leave your family. When they know that you kill yourself, it will never leave so soon. Let everybody know that I was shot better than for me to put a gun on my head that I must drink. I will write a note and I will drink. That's not done. So I've made up my mind over the years, no matter what life throws at me, I'm going to handle it. It may feel so bad. So giving up is not always an option. You must continue fighting. And if you fight, well, it may stay long, but one day, if you continue knocking that door will open for you.
You must continue fighting. If you continue locking that door, that door will open for you. I love that. So, in the place of fighting, sometimes we discover that there are some things that are out of control. So, what do we do with things that are out of control? That you know that this, you have no control. You have tried, there's nothing you can do about it. What do we do with such?
Yeah, sometimes you see things that they're out of your control, but you have to accept it. Sometimes accepting your weakness creates room for God's strength. You have to accept, like someone that had a stroke. If you've gone for medical treatment, none seems to be working. So you have to come to terms with the fact that the next thing is this. It's not killing yourself, it's not living in depression. Because I also noticed that most people that have problems, especially the chronic problem, it's not even the sickness that kills them, it is the depression because they stop fighting. I've seen people that had cancer that have survived cancer. And how do they survive it? Because their mind is made up to fight it. You will see them still fighting hard. I just saw a patient last week that had endometrial cancer. On spotting her, I know she has endometrial cancer. All her hair gone. She came for optimization. We need to go for, brachytherapy. And you will see in her face, we spoke, she was hopeful. Because you must keep fighting. So saying that sometimes you have to accept what you cannot change. And accepting it will, if God in his infinite mercy decides to not change it, good. But one must accept what you cannot change. If you don't accept, well, you will cave in. And how do you give in? You get depressed, you start thinking of suicide, or you start depressed, your mood, your health go down. What knows what's happening? Death comes in because you're giving up. So sometimes you have to accept it that it has happened. You can imagine if someone that is a driver try to lose his sight. What else? Or someone, right-handed man, lost the right hand or has stroke that affected. How can I cope with this left hand? How can I withdraw my money? What can I do with this left? That will be the next one. So sometimes one must just accept what you cannot change and continue forging ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. On the that issue of how do we deal with what we cannot control? You said acceptance. I also like to say that, sometimes maybe it's the loss of a loved one. You have no control over that. There's nothing you can do. Then how do we go over that? What we need to realize is that when we lose a loved one, we can't change the situation, the fact that we have lost that person. But how do we now go through that situation is that you tell yourself that this person is gone, but put the memory of that person, the good memory, keep the good memory of that person. It is our response sometimes to those things. How do we react to that thing that can maybe push us to the place of depression? When we lose a loved ones and we are brooding over it for too long, it can even cause illness, especially if it's a spouse or somebody very close. But when you now put and keep the good memory of that person, that will help us to go through that situation. And sometimes maybe you lose a job. You can't, maybe probably the downsizing in your office and they had to lay off people. You cannot control that. Then how do you go through that? You have to respond in such a way that, okay, God, I'm grateful for having this job. Then now, what is the way forward? Where do I go from where? From here? What do I need to do to get another job? Do I need to acquire a new skill? Do I need to, whatever you need to do? Okay, let me start looking out to organization where I can get job. Or you can even decide to stand on your own, to start your own business. So those are the ways we can control some of those things, because you feel, well, you are not the owner of the organization. You can't insist you must stay on that job. It is beyond your control. But you have to look at how do you respond to those things. It is our response to those things that really matter. Sometimes those things pain us so much, but we have to put a positive, look at a positive side or whatsoever we have to face in life. So let's go to what matters most, what other people feel or say about you, or what you think about yourself. Which one is important? Probably the person they are feeling, oh, he's a failure, he can't do anything right. His mates are doing this, his mates are doing that. He's still there, still complaining. And maybe people are calling the person a lazy person or whatever. And you know that you are not lazy. So for such people, what's your advice for such people? So does it matter what people are saying about the person, or what the person feel that I know that I'm putting effort, things are not just working out, and I believe that it will only get better.
King Solomon said, now if you listen to what every man is saying, you hear your servant curse you. You shouldn't live your life based on what people feel about you. If you are able to overcome what people feel about you, what they say about you, then you solve the majority of your problem. It is you and you. People have their opinion. Personally, people's opinion don't matter to me. That's what you feel. Well, good luck to you. Just be focused on what you are doing. If you are focused on what you are doing, they will get to understand you one day. And they don't understand you, well, kudos to them. Let them continue with their erroneous belief about you. So what people feel about you does not actually matter. People will tell you anything. Sometimes because they don't understand you, they will pass comments. Maybe you are lazy, you are this, you are not reading. Like a guy that was writing exam, he knows where his problem is. People will pass comments. You are not reading, you are not serious. It's your life. It's your life. So what people say about you is inconsequential. So far that you ask yourself question, am I really putting in my best? Yes. Is there any way I can improve on? Yes. How do I go about improving on? You ask yourself sincere question. If you can answer those questions, what people feel about you is immaterial. In fact, people can change their view about you in the shortest possible time. By the time things start working well, they will come to you and say, "Oh, I didn't know you are this serious." They will tell you. I read the testimony of a man that was writing about how he joined the army as a recruit and rose to the rank of brigadier general today. One guy from Ondo town. He said that when he passed his HSC, even his commandant congratulated him as a staff sergeant. When he passed his HSC, they congratulated him. So just keep doing what you want to do. People may not understand you because there are so many things that people pass through that there's no way anybody will understand you. They will have their opinion about you. Just keep doing what you are doing. Ask yourself question, are they really right about me? Am I doing the right thing? Is there any way is there any room for improvement? If you can answer these sincere questions, just continue. It's your life, not their life. And even their opinion doesn't put food on the table. So you just have to continue with your.
So when we have the feeling that we have lost everything, when a person is feeling like that, how can such person encourage him or herself?
Feeling of losing everything could be devastating to someone. But you can draw your strength from God. Look unto God. Draw your strength from God. You understand everything. People have lost terrible things has happened to people in the past. And somehow, they still look for a way to survive it. Because they just turn on God. There is no temptation taken by it that is not common to man. Just know that there's nothing you are passing through now that others have not passed through. Turn to God, face God, and draw your strength from Him and Him alone. You can survive it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So finally, I want us to look at what are the things needed to forge ahead. If one, after that feeling, and what are those things that one needs to move ahead, to live past that feeling, to live past that situation, to overcome that state where one is feeling all is lost.
Well, you need courage, a lot of courage. People that have survived great loss will tell you that you need courage to continue. You also need willpower in the sense that you just want to survive. This time around, you want to survive. There is will to survive. And if there is will to survive, when there is will, there is a way. The third thing you need is determination. Determine. The fourth thing is resilience.
I think his line is frozen there. I don't know if it's from this end or from the other hand.
Hello? Can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you
I
hear
can hear
me?
you now.
Am I
Yes,
audible?
it was frozen for a period of time. I wasn't too sure if it was from here or from your hand.
So you need personal development. You need to keep hope alive. Look at the bright side of life. Thank God for things that He has done for you. Gratitude. Because there are some things too that you've done well in it. And to have positive thinking. If you have these things, with the help of God, you will survive the dark stages. Remember, at the end of every tunnel, there is always a light. You may be in that tunnel at that point in time, but you will pull through and light will shine on your path once again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to emphasize on counting your blessing. Sometimes we get carried away by the negative things or the things that we have not received, that we forget the things we have received. Pastor Shea was saying it, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, that when people come for counseling and he tells them, write the things that you don't have and write the things you have. And you realize that what you have is more than what you don't have. But because your energy is focused on those things you don't have, then you begin to feel everything is lost. You begin to feel all is lost. All is never lost because there's something good in you. There's something you have that other people do not have. Then I want us to look at when we are at the point where we are feeling all is lost. What about taking a look back at some of the little wins you have had? Sometimes in life you have done some things and people have congratulated you. So you can tell yourself, if I can win in so area, I know that I will win in this. Imagine somebody a child that is writing JAMB. At that point in his own life, that is the most difficult challenge in life. And this same person passed JAMB, got admission to the university, and this person is having problem getting, and that person is feeling like, let her go and commit suicide. You have passed JAMB, you have passed WAEC, you passed secondary school, junior secondary school. If you can do those things, then you can do it again. So you should always go back and look at your little wins. In what area have I won before? So by doing those things, it will boost your confidence, your self-esteem, that I'm not worthless. I am not incapable. I can. It's just that it's not working now. It can work because I have done it again and I can do it again. So, Pastor Samuel, Dr. Samuel, what's your final take? What should people take on this conversation?
Hope is not lost when we have hope in God. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So on this note, we are going to close on this conversation, but I'm going to leave you with these quotes by H. Lee. It says that you need only one thing in the world. It is not money. It is not fame. It is not even food. All you need in the world is hope. As long as you have that, you have everything. This is your birthright that you should never lose. If you so if you keep hope alive, all other necessity will come soon enough. And Israel Moore also said that when joy is lost, hope can easily find it. It is only your hope that knows the whereabouts of your joy. If you lose hope, you lose everything. So keep hope alive. See you next week on another conversation.